Tonight, we're learning more about why some school districts may have to wait 10 weeks to get computers in the hands of students. Our investigative reporter, Jeremy Rogalski, discovered the Texas-sized demand is huge, 1 million devices, and it's no easy order to fill.
For most of us, supply chain setbacks might mean ordering online and having to wait a few extra days before the package arrives at the door.
I will say I wish we could go on Amazon and hit a button and have it all show up.
But for the state's Operation Connectivity, it's not that simple. KHOU 11 Investigates first reported how the $200 million initiative will not get computer devices in the hands of needy students for another 2 to 10 weeks. But project lead Gabby Rose says, consider this.
At any given moment in normal times, you have maybe 500,000 devices anywhere in warehouses in the United States.
A nationwide inventory of only 500,000, with Texas school districts now asking for 1 million computers. Plus a Texas-sized order of hotspots, too. You're looking to double that or more with this Operation Connectivity.
We have to be thinking about things like, where are the chips coming from that are going in? Where are the screens coming from? Most of those touch screens are manufactured in China. A number of those factories were shut down for quite some time.
It's all made for a monumental challenge. Rose says she's confident manufacturers will ship to Texas schools before anywhere else. But some students will start the school year virtually with no way to connect.
It is not an easy place to be. I can't make miracles happen in our supply chain, but I can guarantee that we will be first in line.
And Rowe and her team have leveraged the buying power of Texas to negotiate good deals. The Texas Education Agency says it's getting devices at up to 40% below normal retail price. Back to you.
We all know kids are starting school, but there's an urgent need to get some students connected online for virtual learning. KHOU 11 Investigates found many local districts are facing a technology delay. Jeremy Rogalski found even when there is money to buy computers, there's no quick and easy way to get them.
As school districts rush to fine-tune their virtual learning plans, many also have to hurry up and wait.
Everybody in the world is looking for a computer and a Chromebook and a hotspot right now.
In Galveston ISD, it's not money, but delivery that's the issue. The districts received nearly $2 million from the Moody Foundation to buy new devices. But a bulk order of Chromebooks won't come in till the end of August. Remote learning starts the 24th.
In this interim, we would ask that our parents continue to provide what you have at home.
Galveston's not alone. Governor Abbott launched Operation Connectivity back in May, which earmarks $200 million for e-learning. But the Texas Education Agency says it's facing a serious supply chain delay. A TEA spokesperson told us delivery could take anywhere between 2 and 10 weeks, depending on the type of device. A timeline well after the virtual school bell rings to begin the remote school year.
We will not hit our goal of having a device in every student's hand.
Aldine ISD requested an order of more than 50,000 computers and hotspots through the state initiative. It, too, is playing the waiting game.
I don't think that there's someone holding 52,000 computers and saying, you can't have them, nana and boo-boo. I think what is happening is everyone needs the same thing at the same time.
And the TEA says it's Chromebooks that are likely to take the longest to come in. We're told the state plans to update Operation Connectivity in more detail early next week. Back to you.
Houston area school districts are making adjustments to meet the TEA safety requirements. In-person instruction must be offered with options for remote learning.
We always knew we would offer options if TEA allowed that for face-to-face and remote or virtual learning.
Now parents are faced with the question of whether to send their kids to school or not. KHOU 11 Investigates discovered what thousands of moms and dads think. Jeremy Rogalski looks at where they stand.
When the school bell finally rings once again, who will show up? And who will stay home to learn? Is it a tough decision for you?
No, not at all.
Ralph Morales has 2 kids at Katy ISD and says he's all in for them going back.
You can't be afraid. You can't be scared to step out and enjoy your life and make the best of it.
But not everyone's so sure. School districts surveyed parents across the Houston area. In Katy ISD, less than half of parents, 49%, said they were comfortable returning their children to school. Up north in Conroe ISD, 3/4 of parents surveyed said they prefer a traditional in-person school week. And down south, Clear Creek ISD parents were in the middle. 58% said they would likely return their children to school.
We'd love for it to be 100%.
Dr. Greg Smith is Clear Creek's superintendent.
But we also recognize that at this stage, with numbers continuing to escalate, that they need options.
And that, Dr. Smith says, has been the challenge: how to juggle both types of parent wishes while keeping a level education playing field. The superintendent says he's tried to be brutally honest.
We're not able to deliver everything to parents. We can't take everything that we're doing inside the brick and mortar and put that online.
Is a remote learning experience less than in-person education?
Clearly, being in person with a teacher in a classroom by far is much more effective and yields greater results.
It's important to note the surveys we received were done a few weeks ago, before the recent surge in positive COVID cases. We asked a total of 20 school districts for their survey results. We're still waiting to hear back from the others. Back to you. Have a seat, open the envelope. In the envelope are going to be cards with some questions. Answer them as honestly and openly as you can.
Explain 3 things that stress me out the most. Basically, anything to do with grades.
Trying to keep my grades up so my GPA can be high enough, to actually get into a credible college.
Y'all are always on my case about getting B's and bad grades.
At times we feel like that you are not putting the effort into it.
You're not pushing yourself.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do we want to use the word yeah?
No.
Let's use good grammar.
Let's go to the next question.
Okay.
If I could change one thing in my life, I guess I would want us to have more money.
Okay. Just be honest. Speak from your heart.
As far as going to college, if we had more money, then it wouldn't just be so stressful,
Social media nowadays allows people to say anything they want anonymously, like people who make a fake account and they'll say all this negative and hate towards me, but in my face, in person, they would never have done that.
This is a big deal for kids, and they really have a hard time escaping from it. For many adolescents, carrying around this in their backpack is like carrying around the entire high school population on their backs.
If I could change one thing in my life, I would change my surrounding.
What do you mean change your surrounding? How so?
You know how everybody getting shot and killed and stuff?
What worries me? So what worries me is that my friends won't like me. I just become completely lonely, be alone.
That worries you?
Yeah.
Well, when he said that, it almost took my breath away. At times, teenagers feel really disconnected. A parent has to be engaged and try to get a sense for whether the teenager is starting to feel helpless and hopeless.
I'm personally just scared of what, my future holds. Every time at a family gathering, have you decided where you're gonna go to college yet?
You're on your own. For the first time, you are legitimately on your own.
I don't actually have any idea what I want to do with my life. As you can hear, I'm very afraid.
So the biggest fear that I have in life is honestly the feeling of being left out by my friends.
You're not thin enough, you're not thick enough, you're not this enough. And I feel like those are amplified in high school, and it really sucks.
The youngster might have problems sleeping, irritation, their diet changes. A parent might say, well, that defines a regular teenager. But if you start to see these reactions going on for at least 2 weeks or longer, that's when you might need to get some help.
every time I do say something, it goes through one ear and right out the other.
I don't want to tell them, hey, I'm feeling depressed, I have really bad anxiety right now, because they may feel like, well, what am I doing wrong?
But you should never worry about it making me feel bad. If it's something I can help you with, I want to do that.
The pressure to perform. Whew. Forget sleep, forget having a social life. I constantly find myself working and overextending myself.
The expectations are so high that when you jump for that, you're afraid you're gonna fall.
For me, I'm sorry about the pressure, but I'm gonna always be proud of you no matter what you do. Because you're my kid, that's enough. I'll always love you because you're mine.
Hi, I'm Donna, and I'm thrilled to be talking to you today. I want you to walk out of here with some tools that you can immediately apply in your own life with your own kids. The common reaction is parents go, well, I'm not going to do anything. This is just this is too much for me. I'm just going to put my head under the covers and wait until the teenage years are over. This is not the right answer. Today, kids socialize online on their phones. It is who we are today. The right answer is, as a parent, you can monitor your kids online and on their phone. You can talk, have conversations around the apps. You can tell them that before you download an app, I need you to talk to me about it. I need to know about it. So parents do have a right to know what their child is doing online. So parents, you are not going to be able, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to be able to keep up with the newest apps. Some come out weekly. There are 3 perimeters that you can live by in your house, and you can tell your kids. First of all, you're not allowed to be on an app or a social networking site where you can remain anonymous. This only promotes problems. You need to have your username, and we need to know who you are. Second, you're not allowed to be on an app where there's no privacy controls, parental software that can work with it. You can't be on an app where porn is accepted and everything is a go. And the third thing is, some of these apps and networking sites promote keeping secrets, spreading gossip, such as Yik Yak and Whisper. It is not okay for you to have one of these apps that promote gossip, slander, and that are hurting others. That's the main purpose. You're violating my privacy. You're violating my boundaries. You cannot do this. I believe that the rights of parents while kids are in their home are to keep them safe. And parents can respond with, you may be doing everything okay, but I need to know what's coming in. I need to know if someone is harming you or threatening you or harassing you. And I will take action to know that. Some of our kids use these apps to do mean things. I do not promote parents being helicopter parents with technology and always suspecting the worst. I do promote, if you suspect your child is receiving some inappropriate material or sending inappropriate material, you can download some apps, you can download some software, and this software can monitor everything from how long your child is on the phone to how long they're on certain apps. You can disable apps. One's called After Dinner, where you can monitor the time and the words that your child is using. So there's, very sophisticated equipment out there if you're concerned about your child's safety.
Tonight, KHOU 11 investigates, digging deeper into what may have been a red flag in the Santa Fe shooting. the trench coat the suspect was wearing. Investigative reporter Jeremy Rogalski discovered Houston area school districts have banned that type of clothing as part of their dress code. Explain, Jeremy.
Well, and nearly half of the 45 area independent school districts we checked prohibit students from wearing a trench coat. And it all dates back to the first major high school shooting in 1999, Columbine.
The shooters in the Columbine High School massacre both wore long duster-style coats during their rampage and were later investigated for ties to a student group known as the Trench Coat Mafia. Ever since, concerns about copycats,
Operation Columbine is underway.
like this gunman in a 2006 North Carolina school shooting, have prompted districts nationwide to change their dress codes. Fast forward to Santa Fe High last Friday.
From what we know, this student walked in today with a long coat and a shotgun under his coat. It's 90 degrees.
Several students said this is the coat Demetrius Pagorchis wore. He posted it on his Facebook page.
He always had this black trench coat.
And that's against the district's policy, clearly spelled out in its student handbook. Meanwhile, 19 other ISDs also prohibit that type of clothing district-wide, including Cy-Fair, whose superintendent just sent out a message to parents and students 2 days ago. Other districts have campus-specific bans, like some high schools in Houston ISD and Conroe's Caney Creek, which states clothing that could conceal any form of weapon is prohibited. But it's still unclear why Demetrius Pagorchis was wearing one when not allowed.
And Santa Fe ISD would not directly answer that question today. However, a spokesperson did send us this statement saying, quote, "Our top priority as we work alongside federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies is planning for our students' safe return. Dress code is a part of our annual planning and review." Now, if you would like to see if your school district has a ban on trench coats, we have a map online where you can check it out. That's at KHOU.com. I'm Jeremy Rogalski, KHOU 11 Investigates.
What if we told you that your family dog could graduate from school?
And not obedience school, but an actual high school. It sounds incredible, but that is exactly what the KHOU 11 News I-Team discovered is happening at some private schools that critics say are really diploma mills.
And that is not all that investigative reporter Jeremy Rogalski found out for us. Jeremy?
Lisa and Greg, turns out a Texas law actually is helping these businesses thrive. How? Well, it requires state-funded colleges and universities to accept that diploma as valid, even when it belongs to a basset hound.
It's a rite of passage from adolescence to adulthood.
I was crying. I cried. I was so proud.
And for Brooke Heyer, it was extra special.
I was the third person in my whole entire family to ever get their high school diploma.
With it, she could fulfill a dream of joining the Navy. But then, suddenly, her recruiter dropped a bomb.
It was worth absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
The Navy did not accept her brand new diploma from Parkview Baptist School, a school that's located in an office building. A school, she says, that didn't even care about her homework.
Did he read it?
No.
Did he grade it?
No.
Did he?
Didn't even skim it.
But Heyer says he did take her money.
How much?
Oh, almost $600.
All for a worthless piece of paper, she says, and a dream down the drain.
It was a waste of time and a waste of money.
And it's big money when you look at the big picture. In fact, some of these programs claim to have some 80,000 graduates over the past few years, all by promising a quick, easy, pain-free education. So, how do they get away with it?
These people are deceivers.
If you ask Tim Lambert,
I think it's a travesty.
They're hiding under a Texas law he helped to write as an advocate for homeschooling. It says public colleges and universities cannot discriminate against homeschool students. But Lambert says when these outfits call themselves homeschools, they have no business doing so.
They're not providing instruction. They're giving credit and then for a fee printing out a diploma. That ought to be a definition of a diploma mill.
Our undercover cameras caught it on tape at the Marquee Learning Center in East Houston.
Hi.
Listen to the pitch.
Right now we have a special. It's $99. That's all you have to pay.
That's right. Tuition is half price. And the coursework?
It's very simple. Just common sense.
Just whiz right through an easy take-home exam, and soon you too can have that coveted sheepskin.
I
That's pretty.
But you'd better hurry to get in on the deal.
This Saturday, it's gonna end. It might go up to like 175 or 150 or even 200.
Lambert's take?
I think what you've got is these guys basically saying, we don't care who you are, you know, if as long as your credit card payment clears, then we'll send you the diploma.
In fact, some so-called home schools like Lincoln Academy in East Houston never even see their students because it's all online. So the I-Team decided to do a test of its own and signed up Molly, our photographer's basset hound. And what was Lincoln's test like? Doggone laughable at times, with questions like, a triangle is how many sides? Or, the president lives in the White House.
True or false, huh? What do you think?
In a couple of hours with our help, Molly passed, and $300, and a few days later, her diploma and official transcript arrived. Lincoln Academy was even nice enough to email, "Dear Molly, you have truly reached a new milestone in your educational career. Sit back and enjoy your new life of being a high school graduate from Lincoln Academy."
Can I ask you about Lincoln Academy real quick?
But turns out, nobody at the school wanted to talk to us about Molly the grad, including Nancy Labat, whose family owns the business.
Do you know who you're awarding diplomas to? A dog, ma'am. What do you have to say to that?
If it all sounds crazy,
our hands are tied.
It's driving some college admission directors bonkers and putting them in a tough spot. Trevor Thorne is with Sam Houston State University.
I mean, the law says you treat this student just like you would a student from a public institution. So we're really handcuffed by this, saying you have to take this student.
Meantime, we tried to talk to the other business owners of these so-called home high schools at Parkview Baptist.
He's out of the office. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
But Wilton Chassan did tell us by phone,
"We're not a diploma bureau. We're not a scan. You're attacking. You're looking for negative information. Goodbye, sir."
And finally,
are you a diploma mill?
No, sir. Sure not.
Marquee Learning Center's Ricky Guerra said they're all about helping the community. And he didn't pass up the chance to keep pushing that sale.
Remember now, don't forget to mention we have a $99 special going on right now.
You have a special?
Yes, sir.
Do you hear how this sounds? You have a $99 special?
It's a January special, yes, sir.
It's like a Midnight Madness or a Black Friday sale. We're talking about diplomas here.
No. I mean, call it what you want to. It's a free country.
Now, again, these schools all are quick to say that their diplomas under Texas education law are accepted at any state, college, or university. But here's the rub. For most community colleges, you don't need a diploma to get in because they have open admissions and you can enroll just by taking a placement test. As for other colleges and universities, they won't let you in on a diploma and transcript alone. Lisa and Greg, they require things like ACT, SAT scores, and additional tests.
A little more advanced, thank goodness. Yeah, all right, Jeremy, thank you for that.
You bet.